down. That's a full team kill.
He's looking for third. He's gonna get it.
Against Kinger now in a 1v2 once again. He finds one. He finds the second. He's still alive. Can he go in?
Oh my
God.
goodness.
He's gonna go bar down and give Saints the lead again.
Saints Nation, and welcome back to some more NECC Overwatch action here today. It's going to be week 2 in the final week of the preseason. My name is Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside John Bill Bangs Uedema, and for a good match here against the Ottawa Braves, Kansas. Let's see how it goes.
Well, we know they're good in many other esports titles. We haven't really seen them too much in Overwatch, so it's going to be interesting to see how they perform. St. Clair's had a pretty mixed bag of results so far in Overwatch throughout the preseason. A couple of 3-0s, a couple of times 0-3. So, I mean, their roster hasn't changed too much, but I definitely think the results are still very, very much in the air coming up onto the regular season here very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, the results are going to be, very up in the air, like you were saying. I'm very excited to see how they actually do perform going into the season. But yeah, just as you were saying, it's like Ottawa, Braves, Kansas, their Overwatch team at least, is like a big question mark for us right now. It's like, what do we really know about them? Not a whole lot. All we know is that they're very successful in other titles, so planning that they are successful in Overwatch here as well, we should be expecting a good game between these two teams here. It is going to be a best-of-3 series. However, all 3 maps are played regardless of the outcome. So let's say, Ottawa goes up 2-0 early on. We will still play that third map just for seeding purposes and just to get a little bit better of an idea and some more practice under their belts.
Yeah, and it is preseason, so obviously the games aren't going to matter going forth in the standings, but good warm-up games, good gauges, and obviously we do have a couple of swap positions here. We do have a slightly different roster than we did at in the fall semester, so same players, different positions, but here we go. Game number 1 starting off here in just 10 seconds.
Yeah, here we are, NECC preseason. The final game's going to get kicked off here tonight. This isn't our only one. We got this one at 5:45. We are going to be jumping into another game here at 7 p.m. So lots of Overwatch action headed your guys' way tonight. But let's get things started off. Introducing the Ottawa University roster. We got Terrell, we got Not Sure, we got Lump, we got Simplistic, Beach, and then Sage Mage. Sage Mage. Okay, well, starting things off, big team fight.
Yeah, it looks like G-Scale's on the Hanzo here. That's an interesting pick. He's going to take out that Immortality Field and take out Simplistic as well. Possibly going to get that pick, so a good start here for St. Clair.
Yeah, those are a few big picks early on there. D-meching the Diva there from the side of Ottawa University, Kansas as well. And that's going to be a couple players down now trying to regroup and try to make a second effort. But that being said, St. Clair off to a great start, and they should have control over these points early on.
Yeah, no one taking the objective just yet. Finally, they will start getting that one, but there was definitely a few seconds lost there before they actually got this point. And interestingly enough, they only had the Diva back there, so I do think a little bit of a mistake there. St. Clair definitely could have picked up a lot more objective time if they had gone on that point earlier after they had started getting those picks, but nonetheless, they still get the point, and the ult's coming up here for G-Scales in just a second.
Yeah, a flank trying to come around here from the side of Ottawa University, actually. Not going to work out too well, though, as St. Clair will read it early on. However, it actually is going to be a contested point here right now. St. Clair still ticking in their favor, though G-Scales, Arjun, each going to find some big kills there, taking down Beach and Terrell. And this is still going very much so in favor of St. Clair's. That's about half the side of Ottawa down here now. A 5-player kill streak for Arjunk, or available, I believe that was. And it is now going to be St. Clair approaching that 35% marker. But yeah, just as you were saying, they could probably be around, 40 to 45 here right now with that little bit of few missed time that they had early on.
Yeah, and really good defense there because they only used that ult from G-Scales. They didn't end up using Apostles or Cheesies or Bailables as well, so all those ultimates still available here for this next push. There will be a couple for Ottawa University, Kansas. See if they can use those to try and push themselves forward here.
Yeah, the May there from St. Clair is working out. Oh, sorry,
that was a huge shatter.
Yeah, the May's working out very, very well to really slow down this play from Ottawa University and try to, force St. Clair off of a position. But it's not going to go. St. Clair's able to contest around it. But however, that is going to be G-Skills with a big headshot there, taking down Lump. Cheesy going to D-Mech Not Sewer and try to clean up that one as well. But regardless, we do have a contest, and it is not looking terrible for Ottawa University here right now. Some even trades going through, and this point is actually getting captured here now by Ottawa University. That is going to be contested at the final second, though.
Yeah, it's going to flip back in their favor. Actually, it was interesting there. Cheesy used his ultimate on point. Didn't really seem like it got anything done, but it actually was really good because it allowed for at least 15 to 20 more seconds of progression on that point because you couldn't just collapse on there. They just had 2 people left at the side of Ottawa University, Kansas, and you couldn't send them on point because that default was there. So it gave them a lot more time on this point, and it means that if they can somehow find a good offensive push here, they can end the game in this.
The
20%.
Dragons coming through. Does it find anything? Will do a lot of damage, and he will actually take down Simplistic with that Hanzo ult there. Cheesy gonna find one on the Diva as well over to Terrell, and Apostle cleaning one up as well. That should be swinging things over into St. Clair's favor as they do have 3 down, and they will have a contest here right now. But a lot of these players from St. Clair on the point, they just gotta clean up these final few, and they will come through with a capture right here, right now, and the scoreline is gonna be swinging back into their favor.
Couple of good Dragons here to G-Scale so far. He's gotten some key picks, and that's really allowed St. Clair to move onto these points and take them pretty solidly. 90% approaching here. One more push from Ottawa University, Kansas. If St. Clair can hold, they will take the first round on this control point.
Yeah, and a first, we talk about it all the time. A first round is so big here just in this control game mode, just trying to have an advantage over your opponent early on. So we'll see how it works out. But in overtime here now, it is going to be St. Clair at the 99% mark. They're just going to get the final cleanups, and that should do it here. Simplistic and Lump all alone to try to make it happen, and that will do it just as St. Clair will find round number 1 here in the control points, and it's going to have them at an advantage here in map number 1.
Yeah, really good job there by St. Clair. I think Ottawa University, Kansas, interesting that they kept with that Symmetra. I really feel like it wasn't working out too well for them. Obviously, it is a hero that struggles to try and get onto these points. So I really think maybe if you were already taking control of that and you were up to 70%, then you go for the Symmetra pick. You can throw your turrets down on site. A lot easier to handle, but I think they just wanted it for the wall. Didn't end up working out for them, and St. Clair didn't take this first round. Really good start. I really liked how they were playing that. Apostle was popping off in that first round. Hopefully, you can see him maybe do so on the Wrecking Ball here in round number 2.
Yeah, we could see some use there. But yeah, the Symmetra was finding a very difficult time getting the entries there. And like you were saying, if they were already stacked up, it might have been a little bit more valuable. But regardless, we are hopped over to this round number 2 of map number 1. It is going to be the control point lock in about 20 seconds or so. But in the meantime, we have a big team fight that has to happen first. Let's see how it goes. It's going to be Bailable inflicting some damage early on as St. Clair does push up and towards this point a little bit further. And it's actually Bailable on a big flank early on in the Tracer. This could provide some value.
Yeah, it's very interesting here. There's really 2 ways you can attack this point. You can either go with what both team comps did here, where you go for the super high mobility, Tracer, Wrecking Ball, no main tank kind of option, or you can go for the Far Mercy route, which is also very strong on this one. It looks like both teams decided to go for this super high mobility comp, where you just kind of roll around on these points. You have so much room to maneuver, you just don't allow people get through those 2 chokes, and you chase them out back to their point. No percentage yet here for either team, though. Big slam.
Yeah, huge slam from Apostle. Cheesy follows it up with one there, and that is now going to be St. Clair not doing too bad. From the beginning, it looked a little bit worrisome as Ottawa University had such an advantage, but that is going to be a 2-for-1 trade. It's now going once again in their favor. They should get this control point, and it is going to start ticking now in favor of OU. And it is about 5% on the clock here now, and honestly, they're just controlling this one as St. Clair does regroup and try to take their second effort here.
There is a Zenyatta ult for OUK here, so it means when they are attacked here on this point, they will be able to extend this objective lead for a little bit longer. No ults available just yet for St. Clair. Our Junk is coming up on his own Transcendence, though.
Yeah, now that is going to be Bailable, just trying to get around here, and the movement with the Tracer, looking for this one player on the backline, not able to quite find it early on. G-Scales will take down Terrell, though, and a good start for St. Clair to provide them that 6-on-5 advantage. Bailable going to follow it up with one on Beach before losing his life, I believe that was, yes. And that's just so many more picks coming through from St. Clair. They should be able to get the point captured on here if they can clean things up, and it's looking pretty decent right now.
That was actually a really smart move there. The Echo changing into the Wrecking Ball, taking the mines. Diva will come out here, not going to catch anyone. G-Scale's going to get one with the Deadeye, though. A good catch. Trade's coming out here, but no real progress being made. Already 50% here for OUK. St. Clair going to have to try and clean them up off point here real soon.
Yeah, and now honestly, St. Clair will get a big cleanups all around, but the thing with Ottawa University right now is they're not waiting to regroup for these team fights. They're constantly going in for the contest, but Cheesy will find so many there with the Diva just going to work, and that is going to swing things over to St. Clair's favor. They will start ticking. However, Ottawa University already going to have 65%, which could be a problem for St. Clair, and with them not waiting to regroup as a team and always having someone contest that point, it really gained Ottawa University an additional like 20%, 25% on on their time just constantly going back and fighting that same position, but they will regroup here now as St. Clair does have control, and they will try to get the retake. So we'll see if St. Clair maybe does the same thing. We'll kind of see what happens here in just a moment, but here's the team fight looking to come through, and Apostle trying to potentially go for a slam early on, but it's not going to work out, and Apostle and G-Skills, though, will find their frags.
It's a nice minefield. They're able to cut off a lot of the team. Doesn't allow them to get onto this point quite yet, and it means they're going to have to regroup, try and find another way through here. But you were talking about earlier the advantage of having this mobility comp. Because this map is so small and so short, you can just keep throwing people at the point over and over and over again. You have a Wrecking Ball, you have a Tracer, you have D.Va, so you have a lot of mobility to get onto that point. So even if you end up losing it or lose percentage on it, you can come contest and you don't give them too much time to sit around and think about how they want to defend the next attack. So it looks like St. Clair holding this top is really, really strong right now, and they have a lot of ults available as well. Available, another kill on the beach with a bomb.
Yeah, it's going to be very big. However, Baleable will get traded out shortly after. G-Skills finding a Sage Mage, though, and that will provide St. Clair a little bit of a player advantage before a lot of trades come through. Cheesy will demech the opposing D.Va and get the cleanup there onto Simplistic. So looking fairly good here for St. Clair. The high ground is what they're kind of opting to use mainly to, have them an advantage on these gunfights. Regardless, though, St. Clair going to win that initial one and be pushed over toward that 80% marker and finally gaining a big advantage on Ottawa University. OUK is going to have to make a big play coming up here soon.
Available has Beach's number. That's the second time this game he's hit him with the Tracer Bomb. Able to get that really, really early pick. And it's just so huge in these team fights because you don't have your secondary healer. You don't have that Discord orb. Available Tyrell with the slam, going to get stunned up and not going to die. A lot of ults for St. Clair, though.
Yeah, I mean, that slam was very big to deal a lot of damage to a few players. These ults, though, is what is really going to be the killer for Ottawa University as G-Scales, Ubel, and Baleable will all find picks. It's going to be overtime here now as St. Clair is on the 99% marker. Cheesy will be hopping right back into the mech. Lump will find one onto G-Scales, but looking for the trade is going to be St. Clair here now. We got a 4-on-3 contest, so a little bit of work still needing to be done. Sage Mage will take down Ubel, and this could cause some problems here for St. Clair's Arjung. Tagged down, he will get cleaned up as well. Baleable finally answering back. St. Clair just trying to hold on, not even allowing Ottawa University to find this point, but so far just trades after
Tracer
trades.
Bomb. That was massive. He got Simplistic there with the Tracer Bomb. If they can clean it up here, they need to hold here. DMEC D.Va is still sitting on this point. They are going to clean her up, though, so they will claim it back. A good fight for St. Clair and a couple really good bombs for Baleable, but just unfortunately not able to stay alive on that point. Apostle with these mines could be a difference maker in this next defense, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of scary for St. Clair here now because Ottawa University is already creeping up to that 99% marker and getting quite close. So St. Clair really has like 1 to 2 efforts, but they don't know Apostle's back here. Apostle is so sneaky right now. He's going to swing. He's going to try to go for the slam. There it is. He's going to deal a lot of damage, and that is going to be G-Skills able to clean up Lump on the headshots. And now a big contest. This is the big team fight for St. Clair. 2 early frags will greatly benefit them as G-Skills finds one there onto Tyrell as well. Arjunk going to find Sage Mage. Natsu are going to fall. This one is looking to swing over in favor of St. Clair. The overtime time is ticking down, and St. Clair will clean up round number 2 after coming back there in that one, and will take game number 1 of the series 1-0.
Yeah, that was absolutely massive, and I mean, the difference maker, you saw it on the screen there. The Apostle coming in, dropping the minefield, separating the team. There was 3 people that went down onto the site. There's 3 people that backed up into the staircase, completely cut each other off, and when you're separated like that, they just, with so much mobility, they can just dive right on top of your damage. You had no supports in the back to help you out, so just really good job there by Apostle finding that flank, able to separate the team, and really good job for St. Clair. Even though they did end up losing that point at 99, they did end up giving that one. They came back, they had a plan, and they knew exactly how they wanted to execute it, and it worked out great, and now they go up 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, that slam just started the whole play off there. It, like you said, separated the team, does a great deal of damage early on, allowing G-Skills to come in there and use that revolver to his advantage and find those picks and whatnot. So very, very good plays from St. Clair in game number 1 here. So it's nice that we have a little bit more of an idea of how this Ottawa University roster is, though, for sure, because now I'm expecting a lot of close games in these following 2 maps. I mean, that was, despite it being a 2-0, it was very, very close, and some of the best control Overwatch I've seen in quite a bit.
Yeah, it was definitely, especially on that second point, and it makes it so interesting, right? Because, like I said, this map, it's just so small, so you have so much mobility. Even though you might get, you might beat someone in a fight, they're coming back within 5-10% just to fight you again because they're so much mobility. And I really love seeing Tracer. I think we missed seeing so much Tracer on a lot of the other maps because she just isn't as viable on them. But in something like this where it's all close quarters, very small map, Tracer definitely viable. And you saw Bailable, definitely my standout in that game. 2 huge Tracer bombs onto Beach and found another one on a Simplistic there in the second last fight. Like, he was on fire on that Tracer, and that's the Bailable we like to see.
Yeah, like you were saying, like Bailable really did have Beach's number in that one. Yeah. Beach was like getting Tracer bombed after Tracer bombed every single time there, and it was just Bailable, just tormenting at that point in time. And Bailable's one of the a great Tracer. He's so sneaky, very fast with it, and can make those quick reaction plays that Tracers need to be made, right? So very good plays overall from Bailable. Like you were saying, I agree, definitely one of the standout players in that one. But there's a lot of good plays also coming through from the side of Ottawa University, so I'm looking to see more of those in game number 2 here. I'm not sure if we have a map here yet, but I know these players are all going to be lobbying up. We should be hopping into that one in just a few moments. But a very good game 1, and we're going to see who finds a game 2. But regardless, I want to point out one more time that all 3 games will be played regardless, because I know even some of the own teams get confused sometimes.
It's interesting that they play that way. I mean, it's something very unique to Overwatch. Typically, you have just a 2-0 series if you sweep it. But, I mean, you play all 3 games even in preseason. It's very interesting. It does mean we get more content, which is nice. But, I mean, for the players, it's very interesting, too. They get more time to compete against each other, and maybe teams that, don't see each other that often get a little more time to see how they play out.
Yeah, it's good to just get that extra practice in the extra scrim time or whatnot. But we are heading into a map number 2 here now. And it is going to be St. Clair College on your right, Ottawa University, Kansas on your left here once again. Let's get things started. How are you feeling about this one, John?
It'll be interesting to see what these teams bring out. I've seen very, very different team comps on this map. I've seen a Torbjorn, I've seen Symmetra, I've seen a lot of different stuff here, but I like Bailable here if he does stick with the Tracer. I think he popped off in that last one, and I mean, on Numbani, I think definitely can do really, really well. I mean, I would go back to the Tracer too. I think the fact that he was popping off on that one. You have Beach, which again is playing this immobile healer, doesn't really have too many options unless he lands a magical sleep dart. It's going to be really, really tough for him to try and escape this Tracer.
Yeah, those sleep darts are very, very big, though, if you can land them. It could really change a whole play. So Beach going to be putting a lot of pressure on himself, I feel like, kind of playing that, because knowing that you kind of got to connect on those sleep darts. Your sleep darts are going to sometimes make or break the plays, so it's going to have a big impact on this one. But starting us off is going to be St. Clair, looking to go and defend, I do believe, here now. And let's see how they can do on the attacking side of things.
It's very interesting, too. The one difference in these 2 team comps, we have the Sage Mage on the Mercy, we have Ubel on the... sorry, I can't remember her name. Briggs. Thank you. I was going to say Baptiste. Brig. It's very interesting because it's 2 different healers for 2 different purposes, right? You have the Mercy is to buff up and heal the Echo, whereas the Brig is to help out that Tracer, give a little bit extra shielding and healing on the ground. So it's interesting to see 2 different dynamics on how they want to play the healer DPS duos.
Yes, for sure. Lots of damage being inflicted early on here, as Simplistic will be the one to take first action. You're now taking down a Postal, and that's down St. Clair now down into a 4-on-6, losing G-Scales as well there. Cheesy will be DMX'd, now trying to just fight for his life at this point in time, and not a great start there from St. Clair, trying to go in and trying to find this control point. Ottawa University able to lock things down. Ubolt coming in here trying to find whatever he can, but it's not working out too hot. He's going to fall, and everyone is going to try to regroup as a team here now.
Yeah, and it was a really, really good sleep dart actually to start us off by Arjunk there. He did end up finding Tyrell on the Winston, and St. Clair tried to dive it, but ended up getting turned on, and really good job by University of Kansas recognizing the fact that they were going to go for that dive on Winston once he was slept. Able to respond with a really good anti by Beach there, and I mean, now that the nano is available, a lot of ults actually up for Ottawa University Kansas. This next offensive push is going to be really tough for St. Clair.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough. The ult economy is just not in their favor by any means necessary. It's about 4-0 here now, and that is going to be a big one coming through early on. But G-Scales and Cheesy will answer back nicely. But that being said, Terrell will take down Arjunk. No sleep darts coming through. Yubo falling as well. Those are 2 big players to take down, and G-Scales. Now it's all up to your tanks here and your Tracer to try to find something to happen. Bailable and G-Skills will gather some ults. The ult economy is going to slowly go up for St. Clair here now, as Apostle is going to be finding his as well. And wow.
Big Tracer 1v1. Who's going to win this one? Oh, never mind.
Never mind.
Walk away.
Yeah, that's or sprint away. I mean, hold on, that's a Tracer.
Away?
Yeah, dash away. Yeah, anyhow.
Teleport away. Like even better. But, I mean, another good try by St. Clair there. Again, it was the ult differential that really made a huge difference. They were able to get that Mercy Winston ult together, able to survive on the point for a lot longer. And now that St. Clair has the ult advantage, especially because they have the support ult coming up very soon, I'd like to see them push it.
Yeah, so here is the push you were just talking about, and G-Skills will be the one to find the first pick. They're taking down Sage Mage, and that is now the start you're looking for if you're St. Clair. Will allow somebody to hop on this point. You do have a little bit of progression, and just trying to contest and fight these players over here. Now it's a tank v tank down there, as Cheesy will take down Terrell. Cheesy also going to find Simplistic. Yubel connecting on some nice chains there. Baleable finding one on Notsuer as well. That's going to be 4 down for St. Clair, and should be the capture. Payload going to be unreleased here now in a moment, and St. Clair will start moving.
Yeah, really good job by Apostle and Cheese there, teaming up to go after that back line way behind on that blue car in the back of the point, able to find the supports, and was the reason why they were able to make that push properly in. And now that they got this cart moving, I want to see them keep this momentum going. They have still a lot of ults available for them, specifically the tank ult, so if they can leverage that into some more progress, they can move through these streets very quickly.
Yeah, G-Skills just trying to inflict some damage there down on Terrell and make something happen, but he's going to get tagged down drastically himself, just barely hanging on, will keep his life. Apostle going to come through, swing in with that Reinhardt there, will take down Terrell, as Apostle going through for more. He's going to find another. He's just searching for even more, just going mayhem-wise right now, is Apostle on the 5 streak, finding more and more and more. He will finally get Slept Dart down there from Beach, but Beach falling from Yubel, it's not going to be any concern. St. Clair moving this payload very efficiently early on.
A well-deserved nap after that rampage. Really good job by Apostle. Finding a couple people with that ultimate, and like I said, those 2 tank ults made a huge difference. They didn't even really need to use Cheesy's ult here. He still has it. Just needed that Apostle rage, and they're able to move through these streets. Obviously, second phase a lot easier than this third phase. Notoriously difficult to get through a couple of these choke points, but bomb gonna land here. Good job by Lump to get Cheesy before he could remac.
Yeah, G-Skills is trying to fight for his life here right now on that ult there from the Reinhardt, and G-Skills will sneak away here now as he is duplicating the Winston. A big play coming through from G-Skills as he's going to be inflicting damage onto his own team almost here, it seems like, as Available and Apostle going to take down a couple. This is going to be another big opening for St. Clair, and like one of those choke points you were kind of talking about, St. Clair got through very confidently and dominantly too once again.
Yeah, it was Tyrell just kind of tunneling onto this Echo. It wasn't really a good job because you have to realize it's happened multiple times in this game where G-Skills will kind of bait the Winston into diving on top of her and then change into the Winston. And when you have that electric, I don't know what you call it, that Winston has, his Tesla coil. Oh, looks like T-Ball going to come through here. Might catch someone.
Yeah, it is going to take down Arjunk there, and so no more Sleep Darts coming through for St. Clair, but Cheesy available there for trades. Lump finding one, and it's just trades all around. A Simplistic and Lump will clean it up, though, and that is going to be St. Clair at a massive disadvantage. Cheesy about to get demeched here in a moment. Baleable just trying to teleport around in that Tracer. Yubel trying to provide assistance where he can, but it's going to go 1-for-1. Terrell taking down Baleable, and this is going to leave St. Clair at a stalemate, regrouping and trying to make another push. But honestly, after their first push, getting it to nearly, what is that, like 85% of the way through, it's looking very, very good for them.
Yeah, I definitely think they do have to slog through this last 20%, though. It is going to be tough riding it. But like I was saying, you change for G-Scales now on the Cassidy. He was on the Echo. When you change into that Echo, it's definitely more effective because you can change into Winston, get your ult up, and make space for your teammates. But push looks like it's come through here. Oh, a nice bomb by Lump again onto Yubel.
Yeah, it's going to go with 1-for-1 trades, but Arjunk going to follow it up with a few of his own. Apostle available, finding some more as well. It's going to be St. Clair now back onto the payload and advancing as it's going to be basically a 6-on-1. Sage Mage is all that's left, looking to regroup with the rest of his team as Terrell, Beach, Simplistic, and the rest of the team will spawn through. But honestly, at this point in time, St. Clair only needs 3 meters. Sage Mage just trying to make a big dive play with the support of Terrell. Finally, the rest of the resources from Ottawa University will come in here, provide some more difficult problems for St. Clair. And it is going to be Cheesy looking for a big Diva bomb coming through. Will it find anything? No, it's going to land on top of the payload, not going to connect, and Simplistic will find 2 on the Diva bomb.
Echo's doing really, really well in this game, but they're going to clean them all up on point there. A nice nano, or by a nice anti by Arjunk lands on multiple members, and St. Clair clean them all up there. Minute 29 left. I mean, I definitely thought they were going to get turned around there on that final point. A couple picks came through for OUK, but a really, really good anti by the Ana found 4 members of OUK and St. Clair able to push it through and clean up the map.
It's a decent bit of time on the clock left, too. I mean, a minute and a half, something that's definitely workable here. And I think that OUK is going to have a big half and going to have to do things quite efficiently. I think the big thing here right now for OUK is finding the control point early on. Once you can unleash the payload, maybe go from there, but the control point, if you can find that early, it should really benefit you. However, St. Clair really just put up a set the bar high kind of thing, right? I mean, it's going to be very difficult for Ottawa University to come through here and try to make something work out, but St. Clair, that was just very smooth. They found their picks when they needed to, and everybody was playing as a great team comp and working together nicely.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too because I feel like a lot of the fights OUK is kind of winning. They'll find that initial pick, but then St. Clair ends up making a hero play, whether it's Baleable with a nice bomb or Cheesy with a good ult or Arjunk with a really good anti. There was just something that St. Clair had in their back pocket. They threw it out, turned the tide of the fight, and they're able to end up winning it out in the end, despite being down a person or two, or despite being down an ultimate or two. So really good job by St. Clair. And on this defense, I really want them to try and hold this first point. I think the first point is really hard to take if you're able to, if you have the proper defense, have a good setup. It's going to be really, really hard to take. And if they can try and hold this for a decent amount of time, they're going to be forcing OUK into OT here, just trying to get that to the final point.
Yeah, OT wouldn't be the worst. You know, St. Clair does have that decent bit of time still on the clock. However, if OUK does end up forcing an overtime, they will have like a minute minimum, I think it is, that they have. So I mean, overall, regardless, you don't want to send it to OT. You want to end this one right here in regulation. It all starts with trying to stop OUK on the control point. Let's see how it goes. G-Scales connecting on a lot of these big shots here early on with his Deagle, and that's going to be a lot of these healers up in the air tagged down early on.
Very interesting, too, that G-Skills decides to stick with the Cassidy here because I feel like his Echo was so successful. But, I mean, in retrospect, it is better on defense here to have this Cassidy because if you have the Echo, you can't really pick the other Echo to the sky. She can rain terror on your healers, and it's really tough to try and use it. But Simplistic here going to stick with the Echo. Has had some decent success with it, but hasn't been anything too spectacular. So we'll see maybe if they go for a change if this push doesn't work out.
Yeah, so far it's a little bit of a stalemate here up towards the Raptor side of things. Full team fight as Apostle just tanking in the front line here, trying to find whatever they can. Cheesy shortly behind, but that is actually going to be Terrell coming in. First one to come through. Will get slept darted though from Arjunk, so a good start. But here it is, the Rage, I believe, coming through from Terrell, doing a lot of work early on in these close combat areas, but that is going to be Jubel inflicting quite some damage onto him. Cheesy and Apostle following up, finding Simplistic and Beach, and this is going to be a very, very even fight on the control point.
Looks like St. Clair trying to turn the tide here. They do have a couple ults available as well. And actually, I'm surprised. I definitely thought OUK had the advantage there in that fight because when they activated this ult from the Nano, you had this Winston coming in, you had Tyrell coming in with the Nano activated. The Ana was forced to use the Sleep and the Anti at the same time on the Winston, so that is when they pushed the go button. They got a pick, but St. Clair's ults coming up, especially that rally coming up for Jubel, was huge. Gave him a lot of AoE healing, and the fact that G-Skills was able to survive this Winston going all in on him really made the difference in that fight.
Definitely did make the difference indeed there. Simplistic looking to take the Diva Bomb over here now, and it is going to look to come through. It could cause some problems here for the side of St. Clair. Cheesy will find a couple there, taking out Beach and Not Sure. And that is the start you are looking for, as Cheesy finding a third. Cheesy on a rampage here. And that is going to be Sag Match, though, reviving Beach here in this case scenario. Trying to get these sleep darts back in action. But overall, St. Clair still on the very, very successful hold. I mean, it is going to force the side of OUK to regroup here once again and fall off. And honestly, St. Clair is doing a great job of just wasting time at this point.
Yeah, and interesting to see. Obviously, you do want to keep those couple ultimates you have for OUK, but we're not seeing a swap on any heroes here so far. And I mean, I do think it's been decently successful, but nice sleep there on a Simplistic. They're going to dive right on top of him. The anti comes through. Simplistic going to live for now, but Beach, yeah, is going to go down to Apostle.
Yeah, so that is exactly the Sleep Dart's value. It really forces Ottawa University into a position where they might not want to be in as much as Apostle is going to get rewarded there and turning it into a 6-on-5. G-Scale's going to find Terrell. Sage Mage going to go down. Simplistic falls shortly after from Apostle on the Rage. And honestly, at this point, St. Clair is just cleaning them all up. Apostle going crazy here this game. Going to find some more before regrouping with this team. And once again, it is OUK forced back to their spawn to make another effort push. St. Clair is doing a phenomenal job starting us off here on the control point.
Apostle, very, very well deserved on fire there. He's been popping off the entire game. He really has been the difference maker. Even on that first map, he was really making the difference. But here, he has just looked so much better. And on Numbani, he's just been such a difference maker. And he's going to come through as well as Diva Bomb is going to catch him.
Wow.
Going to get Arjunk.
yeah, that's a good start there, at least on the Diva Bomb. We'll only find one, but that is just a start that you kind of need at this point if you are OUK to try to come through. They are going to have 3 people on the control point. No contest yet, but Apostle going to come through, find Beach. Yubo going to get traded out, though, now putting us into a 5 versus 5 here towards the point. 2 ticks almost there, as it is now a 3-on-3 contest. Things are starting to get a little bit scrappy, as Bailable will take down one, but quickly traded out as Apostle and Bailable there in that situation. Arjug just doing some healing to his teammates, trying to get Cheesy to come in.
Point.
And, oh, they're going to get the big contest. Cheesy coming through and just slowing things down. This is going to send it to overtime, not allow any extra time for OUK to have. And they're just going to get any kind of bonus. St. Clair looking to shut it down and end it right here. G-Skill's finding a couple. Apostle on the slam. Cheesy there. The overtime might not be enough for OUK. G-Skills finding even more all up onto the Diva. Overtime ticking down has been forced off the point. St. Clair will end this one early on the control point and will take a 2-0 lead in the series.
Really, really good job there. They will take the series. We will see a 3rd game as well. But again, St. Clair just denying anything that OUK wanted to do. They had a really good push there. They got a couple of key picks, but the Ana had a Nano as well as the Diva ult available, and that really was a difference maker there. G-Skills nailing a couple heads here on this retake as well is absolutely massive. It's just such a difference maker there.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, St. Clair, really, really good job of, despite the fact, again, they're losing people, they're getting picked off, they're able to turn it around, get those objective fights, and use their ultimates in tandem to make really, really good plays.
Yeah, at first we were questioning a little bit on the G-Skills Casty pick because he was doing so well. I believe it was on the Echo. So we were like, okay, is that going to work out? Well, it clearly did because he was just banging on those heads all day long and really connecting. And that is where the Casty really gets a lot of its value. If you can connect those headshots, it's so worth it there. And that is what's going to be G-Skills getting done. And a very, very good hold from St. Clair to now take this 2-0 advantage. And I completely agree with you. Like, there's so many times where I see OUK open it up with, you know, a pick or a 2 and make it a 6-on-5, 6-on-4. But then, like you were saying, the ults in tandem from St. Clair are just doing so much work to just completely turn the tides, put the fights back into their favor, and they still hold on. There's so many plays that have been very, very close for OUK to just turning the whole game around, but St. Clair will shut it down last second and make their way through, which has been providing lots and lots of value. So heading into game number 3 here, map number 3. So we are going to go to Rialto here in just a moment with game number 3. How do you feel about that one?
I mean, St. Clair already winning this. They already won the series 2-0. We will see a 3rd game as well here. But I think definitely the first game a lot closer than the second. I feel like in the second, there was a little bit of miscommunication in OUK. I feel like a lot of the ults were just being used solo. As soon as it came up, you used it, you try and get yourself on a point, and you don't. It's not really as great communication and not as many ults used together. I feel like St. Clair just a little bit cleaner with that, deciding when they want to use ults, how they want to economize their ults, whose ults they want to use together. It just makes it so much bigger of a difference when you go into those team fights because, like I said, if you're down people, if you're using ults together, it means that you're able to wipe out more at once, and that means you can take those fights. Whereas just, yes, you are getting a nice Diva Bomb that does get a pick, but does it actually get you the point? And a lot of times for OUK, it was a no, but for St. Clair, it was a yes.
Yes, exactly. So just getting ready in the preparation phases of things here now. And this one is going to be St. Clair once again on the right of your screen here with Ottawa University on the left. Getting started here now. Like you were saying, St. Clair already did have won the series, but they are just looking to, you know, get this extra one in here, get some more practice on the 3rd game mode and kind of move on with things. So it is going to be the payload. This time it does get released to you right away, and you kind of just got to see who can move it the farthest and with the most amount of time left over on the clock if you do get all 3. So St. Clair will be the ones moving the payload first here as Ottawa, Kansas is looking to defend.
Interesting spot here too. Normally you see them a lot closer up on this corner building when they're trying to hold this defense because it is definitely a good choke point from the hole, but it looks like OUK allowing them to push through this little hallway. I mean, for me, I definitely think that's kind of a missed opportunity. You see a lot of teams when you're on this first one, you want to push them up into that tiny little corner spot there, a lot closer to the river. Beach going to find the first pick on Bailable though. That's big. It's big for them.
Yeah, and that's actually going to be another big one coming through there from Lump on the Hanzo. Going to take down Arjunk there. And Simplistic finding Ubel. That's going to be a few down for St. Clair. And Cheesy and Apollo, both your tanks are so weak. It's going to be everybody falling off, and you just kind of got to regroup at this point in time because G-Skill's tagged down as well. And we do see everyone go back towards the home base and try to regroup here now. But yeah, like you were saying, they allowed St. Clair to get a lot of that payload progression early on, but it is going to be getting pushed back ever so slightly here now. But St. Clair going to be immediately coming back here as they are spawning so close to the payload.
Key here was Cheesy survived, able to get that energy up really high at about 80 right now. Simplistic going to find a possible with the bombs though. A couple of good picks by the DPS to start these offensive pushes off, and for St. Clair, just can't really seem to get anything going. You want to try and get rolling with that Zarya, because now that she has full charge, she's really going to be doing a lot of damage to this front line. But a Dragon up for Lump, it's going to be tough for them to move through this.
Yeah, it's they kind of got put back into the choke point almost ever so slightly there.
Ooh.
But G-Skills will open us up nicely there, taking down Lump. The Hanzo gone, and that's G-Skills following up with so much more. Bailable gonna find some of his own as well. Arjunk following up with some as well. And this is gonna be St. Clair now looking to move this payload. They have gotten past this choke point we were talking about, and that is 5 down here for the side of St. Clair. Now just looking to move this one as fast as they can, hopping 3 people on it, and at least just get this first point under your belt, knowing that you have some sort of progression made, and to get some more time on the clock for yourself as well, I do believe. Yeah, there it is, 3 minutes or so. 2.5.
Yeah, and a really big missed opportunity there. I mean, really good job by St. Clair. Arjunk nanoing Apostle, him instantly going on to that Hanzo, knowing that he had that Dragon available. It looks like they need the same thing again. Bailable and Apostle just diving straight onto this Hanzo, not letting him make any kind of escape. And when you take out a DPS that early, it just really crumbles your whole backline. Stick gonna come through, but not gonna catch the tank.
Yeah, but Babel's just doing so much damage here. Like, he can just shoot all of his ammo, go teleport, reload, come back in, and just do some more. He's going to come behind enemy lines here now, just do some even more. Apostle is going to go on the rage. What can he find? He's got this player trapped in a corner, down to like nearly half HP, just going to get cleaned up. So much damage dealt. Apostle will find that one. This allows St. Clair to move the payload up even further. G-Skills opening us up with some big, nice sniper shots there, connecting on all of these players, and you're almost already at the second point. If you can get it around this staircase, around this corner, that is so big for St. Clair to just be able to already have it way up here. This payload is moving fast, John.
There's 5 ults available. OUK will pop a lot of them here. Not going to find any kills just yet, but the window's going to come through. Simplistic finally getting an Apostle there. Will be a transformation, though. Nice job with a big Graviton. Cheesy going to find 1, going to find 2. His laser beam absolutely tearing the other team apart. 3 kills come through, and that is going to be most likely the point here in just a second.
Yeah, the ults were not crazy effective there from the side of OUK, as we do see everybody from St. Clair, especially Cheesy, just opening things up. Once again, another point being captured. 4.5 minutes on the clock to just get it, you know, this next 100 meters or so, whatever it may be, is looking so good here for St. Clair right now. They just got to keep this progression going. They're still moving the payload, and now it is going to be OUK now looking to contest and really start to slow down St. Clair here now, because honestly, Ottawa University has a lot of work to do to hold them off for over 4 minutes.
And I think really for me, Arjunk and the tanks have been the difference in this game. There's been so many good times where we've seen a really good nano pop on the entire team. You saw in the fight before, Arjunk with a nice anti, and then Cheesy with the Graviton on top meant that they wiped the team. And they just keep rolling. There's nothing that OUK can do to stop this push.
Yeah, well, that's another big sleep coming through from Arjunk there, and it's going to, you know, really just slow down these players. This payload almost already going to be in here. They're all just trying to push as fast as they can. This might just do us justice right here, John. I mean, we have everybody coming to try to contest this one, but only just 2 meters away. I don't think anybody's going to be here in time. St. Clair going to do that one with 3 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. That was one of the smoothest runs I've seen in so long.
Yeah, and it all started a couple of hiccups there at the beginning, but once they got that really early pick onto the Hanzo with Dragon, it felt like that just took all the wind out of OUK's sails. There wasn't really anything they could do to respond to the push that St. Clair put together, and it just seemed like every single time there was an ult available for St. Clair, they used it, they got a team wipe, and they kept moving the payload forward and forward, and no matter what OUK threw at them, there just really wasn't a good answer. And I'm kind of surprised, right, because we've seen Bailable on this Tracer for 3 games now. We haven't seen any kind of Cassidy. We haven't seen we've seen a break here in the last push, but it wasn't really as effective, and I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing any kind of response available here on this Tracer, because he's been popping off this whole series and there hasn't really been an answer.
Like, what I feel about Babel right now is he's just going in there, doing so much damage, and then he can just TP out right away. He might not even get a lot of these kills. We might not be saying his name a lot on the feed, but he's just doing so much damage, getting all these players down to like half HP, that by the time these tanks come through, like Apostle and Cheesy come in, and these players are so weak that it's just, you know, 1 or 2 swings and they're down, and it really does help out St. Clair get these early player advantages and whatnot. But regardless, OUK gonna have to move this payload here now, as St. Clair is going to defend. As you can see, St. Clair does look like they want to do a little bit more of an aggressive playstyle, like you were talking about last kind of turnaround that OUK kind of missed out on, that you're saying. Like, if you see Bailable here on the stairs as well, way on the Tracer, he is going to become a threat.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they'll be expecting this positioning here from Bailable. And again, we don't really have an answer for this Tracer for the side of OUK, even omitting the Brig, which is typically how you answer the Tracer. You get the stun off, you're able to take her out. Winston going to go on top of her, but
Tracer
not able to take her out.
Yeah, it's going to be Simplistic and Bayable, always getting in these little entanglements here now on these Tracers, as it is going to be Bayable, though, getting picked off. Lump with some nice shots there. Beach going to fall from Arjunk, though, to, you know, at least make this one a little bit even on a 5-on-5. Notsior going to be tagged down and cleaned up as well from Apostle. Beach going to be getting nice and healed up here now as well, though, for the side of OUK to try to just commit on this push. Simplistic taking down G-Scales, and still very even fights all around, but not a lot of progression made early on here for OUK.
Yeah, and I like the aggressive position that St. Clair is taking. Again, they're pushing up more to keep this cart in front of that corner rather than behind it, because if you allow this cart to push forward even 10 meters, it allows for all this open space behind you to be used by the side of OUK. So this Orisa positioning really, really good for Apostle. And as you can see, they can't really push through this tight corridor right now because there's just so much spam going on that you're going to be building up ult charges for free for the side of St. Clair. And we see available on the Genji now.
Yeah, Arjunk is also just doing so much work on the back line just with this healing, just keeping all of these tanks alive and everybody up front alive, that it's just honestly just still just wasting time. And if you're OUK, the last thing you can do right now is afford to lose time. With St. Clair having 3 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, you got to get this one kind of moving along here, maybe making a little bit more of these overzealous, over-aggressive plays. We'll see what happens just in a moment, though, as Bayable and Cheesy are forced back, Apostle forced back as well, so some sort of map control is starting to get gained from OUK. Terrell will come through with an ult. Beach has one as well. Sage Mage, all the ult's going to come through for OUK here now, trying to find something. Notsior, Lump, and Terrell all doing work. That is going to be Terrell going huge on the Rage there. Will take down G-Skills as well. G-Skills going to find one, but other than that, that is a very good push there from OUK.
They did execute their ults really, really well, and they use them in tandem, which I think is key. You have the Winston Rage along with the Nano. It is so massive for them. They're able to get a good push there because you had the support of Notsir as well being fully charged, and really good offensive push here by the side of OUK. St. Clair will have a chance to defend this before it crosses that first threshold, so they will, right before, at about a minute 30 here, they should start defending this little point, but Bob going to come out. That might make it tough.
Yeah, it might make it tough for sure, because this control point's already kind of like there. It is going to get slowed down about 2.5 meters away, as Simplistic does find a few. Lump going to find a couple, but Bayable going big here now. Going to find a few of his own. Yuba following it up. Notsior trying to take down Bayable, will do so. It's now going to leave us into about a 4-on-4 situation in a battle, as it is still contested with over a meter to go here right now. Arjung going to get the final cleanup, and this is going to be so big for St. Clair to just stop any sort of movement before they get to that point. It'll just continue to run down this clock and not give them as much time added onto the clock. So such a big play from St. Clair. They're now pushing this payload back and making it even more work to come through and do if you are from the side of OUK. Now you see also St. Clair pushing in front of the payload and trying to hold back OUK in that regard.
Only a minute remaining here. And I mean, really, it was funny because I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the bomb came through and it ended up taking out the Immortality Shield as well as the Orisa ult. So I don't know if it was a missed one or if it was just happened to come through that way, but really, really good job there by the side of OUK to take out that utility. Unfortunately, they did end up losing the fight, but this is going to be at 30 seconds remaining. Tyrell with the ult available here in just a second will get healed up. And this is going to be a difference maker, this Winston ult.
Yeah, Terrell almost lost his life, and Terrell, every time poking out, he will get so much damage inflicted, and that Winston ult is really just trying to get used, but I mean, it's just not going to be easy right now.
Ooh,
and
Lump.
that is Lump going big, Yubel and Arjun going down, but G-Skills and Bayable will be there for trades. Terrell going to follow things up, will take down Apostle and Cheesy on that ult there, so big from the Winston, as G-Skills going to turn things around a little bit. Bayable going down, trades all through, and this should be the control point captured here now, unless we do see a final contest coming through here, but no, it's not going to work out, and this one should be sent over here now for the side, but never mind, Apostle's still there.
This is still a possibility to come back. Bob on the point actually gets Notser before he ends up being recalled, but Bob going to come down for OUK as well, going to claim someone. Oh, it's going to push through here, still contested though. They got to watch this point. 2 meters left, you got to make sure nobody hops on there and sneaks it through.
Yeah, St. Clair's just gotta, always have somebody on this point right now, keeping the contest through, as it is a very, very even point. You could end this one right here if you're St. Clair and just end this whole series. So we'll see what happens, as she is still over 2 meters to get pushed. Overtime still on the clock here, battling all around Apostle. It's a big slam. Apostle on the back line, just inflicting so much onto all of these players on the point. And we do see some more go down. Beach will fall to Cheesy. This could start things up, but Simplistic will be trading out Cheesy now 4-on-4, 5-on-5, sorry.
Got to make sure to stay on this point. She's going to get red, but Simplistic going to find a nice bomb on the Bayable. Lump finding a big headshot on the G-Scales, and they will be able to clean up this point for the most part. Apostle going to find Lump here and has a minefield, so he can keep delaying for a while here. Going to have to be forced off the point. No, they will claim it in the end. And I mean, that really all started off with big headshots from Lump.
Yeah, it really, really did. I mean, and we saw that just previously in the last map there. G-Skills, the thing that started things off a lot of time was G-Skills' headshots there on the Cassidy. So Lump going to come through this time with some big headshots here for the side of OU, and we're going to get them to capture that point. They are going to be moving the payload fairly fast here now, but the big thing is that St. Clair did put them on an overtime situation, so they don't have a crazy amount of time to move this payload afterwards. Now, it's 2 minutes to get to this next point. Yes, they do already have it about halfway, but they are approaching a choke point where St. Clair is holding.
Cheesy with a big meteor onto Tyrell, going to take out the main tank. Still a lot of time though, 2 minutes left to get to this next point. Isn't too bad, especially because it is pretty attack favored. So I definitely see this as a possibility to get pushed to this last point, but St. Clair going to clean them up on this defensive hold for the moment, so they will be spawning somewhat nearby. Looks like St. Clair might want to go for an aggressive positioning here.
I think extra time is definitely a very, very huge possibility to come through here. But once we get extra time, it's going to be like almost just a St. Clair show with the amount of extra time they have on the clock. So, I mean, OUK going to have that in the back of their minds, which makes it very hard to, keep the momentum up and high here right now. But regardless, they are still doing a good job. They are still moving the payload, but it's just still so much work to get done, especially now as you've already burned off about half your time as you have St. Clair just forcing these players on the other side of the bridge.
A lot of ults up here for OUK as well as St. Clair, so we'll see when they decide to use them. A minute remaining, so it looks like they will try and use a couple of these. The wall going to come through. Both support ults coming through for OUK, though. This could be massive.
Yeah, St. Clair is just going to counter ult here with Arjunk and Cheesy using theirs to try and do whatever they can as the push does come through from OUK. But that is going to be Sage Mage reviving Beach there. Simplistic taking down Bailable, which is exactly what they are looking for at OUK. These are used perfectly. Terrell going huge on the Rage there. Not you're going to find a couple on Arjunk and Cheesy. Apostle trading out Simplistic. But overall, the payload is getting closer and closer to be where it needs to be. Apostle last alive to try to make a play on the point, but no, it is going to go through. St. Clair forced to regroup once again, and we will see OUK move this one to the next point.
Yeah, it is going to be all coming down to this final point number 3 here. Oh, maybe not. They'll contest it with Bob, but both Bobs coming out. Actually, he's going to sleep one coming through. He's going to pop right back up. Bob v. Bob. Who's going to win this one? I think they're both going to just fly into the sky.
Yeah, that is going to be Bob winning the Bob v. Bob, but yeah, regardless, we are going to hop into this one. It is going to be Simplistic and Lump finding a few of their own, and this should be able to open it up just enough for them to move it on, but we are on overtime once again, so second time St. Clair has put this one at overtime. We do have Cheesy and Bailable here to try to make something happen. Cheesy going to find one before getting traded out. Sage Mage going to revive Lump there before Bailable does fall. This should do it justice. Second point on the board for OUK, but a minute and 20 to get your last push. This is where St. Clair could end things in regulation.
The one thing OUK does have is the ult economy here. You see, because there was a couple members changing here, we see G-Skills at 0, we see Bailable at 0, and both Cheesy and Apostle at 0 as well. So no ult except for Arjunk's window available here for this push. And OUK with 2 available and Anand's Nano coming up very soon. It's going to have to be a really, really strong defense here initially for them to get any kind of momentum. That's exactly what you need.
Yeah, that is exactly what you need for real. You will going to be opening up Lump, and that is going to be G-Skills finding Terrell as well. Apostle going to find a third, and that is now going to put it into such a good position for St. Clair. Turn this to a 6-on-3 on the point, forcing the side of OUK back in there. Have to make another play. Sniper play from G-Skills. Oh my goodness.
That's a really important late pick there because they're going to have to wait for this Honda to come through. And the other important thing was Sage Mage did end up using the ult there for the Mercy. So you're not going to have that available for this final push, which is huge because you're just going to try and rely on the Nano as well as a big bomb from Simplistic. Maybe you get the grab up as well from Notsir, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. So Notsir does come around through with a little bit of a flank, but easily picked up on is going to be Apostle there for the cleanup. And at this point in time, it's not looking too hot, right? You still got about half of the way to go with only 10 seconds on the clock. St. Clair is starting to get that ult economy up. That is going to be so big, just as you were saying, taking down Simplistic. This ult economy is something I'm definitely keeping an eye on as well because Apostle are going to have his now, and that is going to make things even more difficult. Sage Mage going to come through, revive Simplistic on the Tracer, and we have a full 6-on-6. This is overtime for the third time in this half. As St. Clair, can they stop it here? It is going to be G-Scales going 4! That is so big there for G-Scales on the Cassidy, but it is still a contest coming through. St. Clair only having Payable Yubel left to try to stop down Notsir and Terrell, the tanks from OUK.
Still an overtime here. The push is still coming through. Yubel gonna have Sandberry up here for this next push. They will be able to contest this one right at the end. Bailable getting it taken out pretty late, but it's okay. They will be able to take this last defense. A huge ult from G-Scales, but unfortunately everyone from St. Clair was already being picked off, so a good flank, but unfortunately didn't really mean too much. But this next push, there is a Yubel sound barrier up. Bayable will have his ult up soon. Oh, that's a big pick, though.
Yeah, Cheesy going down. That's one of your tanks already falling. G-Skills, one of those players that inflicts a lot of damage, going to be falling as well. So it does look like, you know, OUK could get this one in overtime here. It's only 5 meters away. Bayable, though, trying to do whatever he can on the Mei. Not going to work out too hot early on, as they're just trying to force all these players from St. Clair off the point. That is going to be Bayable and Apostle going down. That's not going to be it, though. Cheesy and G-Skills jumping right back into the action. Cheesy immediately demeched here now, and Cheesy will be falling. This should allow the control point to come through, but no R-Joke on a last-second contest with Yubel's help. There's the cleanup. There's the point, and now we are going to be seeing overtime. However, St. Clair with 4 minutes and 40 seconds, OUK with 1 minute. That is a substantial difference that will greatly benefit St. Clair.
Yeah, if St. Clair can just get one big defense here, I think it's just going to be pretty much over. It's going to be tough. If they can't find any kind of momentum here in this first push, most likely it will just be St. Clair with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to try and push just to that first point. And I mean, a really good job by OUK there to take it back, because just starting on that first point, the fact they're able to get that one, it looked like St. Clair had it in the bag, but they, again, were able to take that overtime, turn it into a second overtime, third overtime, and they were able to get that last push. And the fact that Notzer, a really smart job swapping onto that Zarya, because when you saw the Zarya and you saw the Reinhardt coming out, you saw there's so much melee coming out from St. Clair, you're like instantly, okay, I'm going to go to Zarya, gets a full charge up, able to just blast through everything that St. Clair had to offer, and I mean, really was a difference maker in that last push, especially in that last little segment of overtime. It really was a difference maker, especially with that Graviton.
100% here. So we are going to see Bayable switch over to a Pharah. That is something to keep an eye on potentially. And overall, not a whole lot of other changes. I think Simplistic did just switch over to a Tracer as well once again. So we could see some more Tracer v Tracer matchup. No, Bayable, no, because Bayable's on the Pharah. But regardless, we are going to see things get underway here with the overtime. Let's see how it works out. Regardless, St. Clair going to have that massive upper hand we were talking about.
Interesting, though, they're going for this Pharah Mercy, because I really feel like Lump was doing a good job, especially with this damage boost on the Mercy. Definitely was picking off a lot of players, and you got to have a lot of trust in your Bayable. And I mean, we saw last week in the highlight tapes how big Bayable can be on this Pharah. It's how effective he can be here. Gonna have to try and prove it again here, but the Zarya is going to benefit a lot. But Cheesy finding the first pick on Lump and Sage is massive.
The thing that really makes the Pharah so nice for me personally is that you can get the splash damage, which is so big, especially in team fights when you have all 6 players alive. If you can be afflicting damage to 3-4 players at one time, it's so massive. As Cheesy already gonna find some early picks. This payload is not getting moved too far early on, and already down to 15 seconds is OUK, and this is what we were talking about. That 1 minute is not gonna feel that long at all, as it is gonna be this point. Kind of gets to this choke point in St. Clair. If they can just hold it here on these final 6 seconds. It should be a fairly good positioning for St. Clair to try to turn this one around going into their half of overtime.
Beach coming up on the Nano, though. That is a thing to watch, but Tyrell going to be taken out before the Nano comes up. Definitely huge for them. Another pick going to come through. G-Scales and Cheesy going to find 2, and that's going to be pretty much it here on this final push.
Yeah, it's going to be just a couple players here last alive coming through. Yubel will revive Bayable there to get that fair back in action here now. Simplistic just trying to stay alive, jumping all over. The overtime is going to be taking down. Winston jumping on, and he will get that contest quick enough. And that is going to open things up a little bit here, but G-Skills will take down Terrell. Contests are still in there, but so much damage being done from St. Clair. There's not a whole lot you can do right now. That is going to be the overtime. Will get reset once again. 5-player kill streak is going to be for one of those St. Clair players, but regardless, only 52.5 meters were made. St. Clair don't have a crazy amount of work to do.
Yeah, don't have too much. You have 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Definitely not a cakewalk by any means, but you don't really have to make too much progress in order to piece this one out and make it a 3-0 series. So I definitely think St. Clair, a really good confidence boost here. I think for me, Cheesy has looked really good in this game, specifically on that Sigma, has looked exceptional, finding good picks and a lot of good meteors as well. Finding key stunts, especially onto the Tracer, has made a big difference here in this one. And with 5 seconds left, we'll see what these team comps will look like. I'm not looking for another Pharah Mercy. I think it wasn't too bad for Bayable, but definitely wasn't exceptional. So we'll see if he decides to change it up and maybe go back to that Tracer that he was so proficient on earlier on in the series.
Yeah, so just going to be waiting for G-Skills and Yubel to actually lock in what hero they are looking to use in this one. I like the Apostle and Cheesy tank picks there. I think that's going to work out, just really providing a good line of defense early on. G-Skills on the Hanzo, I mean, he's been lighting it up there. I think we saw it in game number 1 and a little bit in game 2, but he's going to opt for that here once again. Yubel still just going to be waiting. He's a big question mark right now. But G-Skill's actually going to be switching off as well. So we'll see what happens. But if Arjun can land...
surprised, honestly, because I thought... So where the positioning is for that card, it's in that little hallway, right? So if you play Hanzo, you're able to get that dragon up. If you can send that dragon through that hallway, you can clear it off the point, have one person on it, push forward, and that can pretty much end it. But again, you have almost 5 minutes here. Like, you have so much time to decide what you want to do. If they want to change up the comp, they can to try and fit it because you don't really have too many meters to go.
Yeah, I think that might have been G-Skill's idea on the Hanzo, right? Is like, at that point in time, that was so much damage on G-Skill's grenade there. But yeah, like, if you want to, you can really send through those dragons, and if you're OUK, you almost have to eat it, like, at that point in time, just to stick the contest. But that is going to be St. Clair already just very close, only needing another meter or two here as they try to get these cleanups, but Simplistic will find the kills needed, so it is going to be a very big line of defense here from OUK. St. Clair probably going to be regrouping here now and just trying to get a whole other team push under their belt. They've already gotten it to very, very close to where they need to get it to. It's now just going to be everybody on the back line coming through here massively. Apostle being the first one to entry through and trying to get a lot of this early damage dealt on here, but OUK is still pushing back this payload.
Simplistic's trying to build up this ult. He is going to get it through, but is it going to catch anyone? That's going to be the question. Never mind, they got it. They were fighting in the hall, didn't realize the payload was pushed through, and St. Clair with a 3-0 sweep over OUK. Really good job there. I mean, all three games really clean. A little bit of hiccups in the beginning of them, but throughout, I definitely think the DPS shine for St. Clair in this one, and both Arjunk specifically and Cheesy had their moments as well.
Yeah, and you know, going into this one, for the side of Ottawa University, Kansas, we didn't really have a great idea of, you know, their skill level going into this one.
Man.
That is very big plays from G-Skill. So nice to watch there. But yeah, like you were saying, we don't really have a huge idea on that how that Ottawa Braves roster actually did play coming into this one. But now we do have a little bit more, and that's actually, I like it. This was a good game. You know, despite it being a 3-0, I think that doesn't really represent how well the side of Ottawa actually did play. They did have some very good plays sometimes, and they definitely did give St. Clair a little bit of a run for their money. Like, St. Clair couldn't just mindlessly play that one through and try to come through. Yes, so Ottawa came through with some good plays, but I think this is a matchup that I would be very excited to see again here in the future of NECC.
Yeah, for sure. I think a little bit more team coordination, a little bit more, you know, using ults in tandem would have helped them out a lot more on those pushes, and I think they had their moments, especially in that second map. I think it definitely could have changed the tide of that whole series, but St. Clair able to pull out, and I think for me, I'd love to see the matchup again in the regular season when they're a little bit more refined. They've been playing together for a little bit while. I think it'll be a lot closer to fair than the 3-0. But again, St. Clair also in the preseason has more room to improve. There was a couple mistakes that they made, but overall, really good series by St. Clair. Pretty solid sweep.
Yeah, for sure. So we do have another match coming up here at 7 p.m. I'm not 100% for sure that one was against again. Bethel University. Okay. Yes, just I remember that one. There's lots of B school names.
There's a ton of them.
There actually is. So regardless, though, we will be back here in a minute. But before we do head away, I want to talk about something a little bit, and that being our giveaway here. We just started this one here at the beginning of the month here, and the winner will be drawn at the end of the month. And this is going to be our Twitch giveaway. So basically, it's all going to be revolving around Twitch. You guys watch our streams, chat, or collect your bonuses or whatever. And reruns. So just any kind of time the Saints channel is live, collect your points. You know, you can chat too to gain some more points or whatever you may be. Once you collect 3,000 points, every stream you can spend those 3,000 points on an entry. So, you know, even if you just want to tab, support the streams, just try to do whatever you can, get your points up. You can do that, and then you can spend them on the entries as unlimited entries, just only one per broadcast, including reruns. But if you guys cannot wait for the giveaway to come through and you guys just want to buy some of that merch yourself here right now, that is going to be over at acquire.ca/Saints. We got jackets, jerseys, crew necks, sweaters, t-shirts, masks, hats, flags. I can go on and on, all very high quality and very affordable. That's all going to be at acquire.ca/Saints if you guys are interested. And now, John, do you want to talk a little bit about our sponsors here real quick?
Well, we can't forget about our number one sponsor, Crunchyroll, our newest sponsor for this year. They came in the fall semester. We've loved having them. You can get yourself a 14-day premium trial of Crunchyroll for free. Crunchyroll.com/Saints. Go check it out. Go check out some anime, manga, whatever you're into. Go check it out. They have everything for you. We also have our other sponsors we want to thank as well: Tim Hortons, Subway, SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association. Thank you for sponsoring us and for allowing us to do all the things we do. But yeah, we will be back very soon with another broadcast against Bethel, another Overwatch series. I'm looking forward to it. I think this one, our thoughts were a little bit more OUK sided, but ended up being 3-0 for Saints, so I'm looking forward to the next one, seeing how they perform.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how they perform in the next one for sure. That will be coming up at 7 p.m. So sit tight and use the washroom, get some popcorn if you need, and we'll be back with you guys here in just a little bit. My name is Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside John Bill Bangs as Udema, and we will be right back with you guys.